Okay, we're going to take a closer look at cam snaps or plastic snaps. Now, cam is the trade name for them, is the original snaps were made by a company called Cam. However, you can buy generic plastic snaps from Amazon, eBay, many craft shops. So whilst I'm calling them cam snaps, these actually aren't made by Cam at all. They're a knockoff version that came from Amazon. They come in two sizes, T4 and T5. The T5 is, I think it's the smaller, and the T4 is the larger. But this is basically what you get. Now, you get two of these for each set, and that's a bit like a drawing pin to look at. You've got the domed top, and then you've got the little spike on the bottom. Then you get these two pieces. There is the female part, which has a dip in the middle, and a male part, which has an extended part. Now, we're not going to go into a biology lesson. Anybody that needs a biology lesson to understand why that's a female and that's a male part, may I suggest Google or your local library for further information on the difference between a man and a woman. So you get, for each set, you get two of these and one each of the male and female parts. Now, when you buy your cam snaps, you often buy them in a box with lots and lots of different colours. But what you do need is a set of pliers. Now, some of the sets come with pliers. These can be quite tough on the hands because they're spring-loaded, so you have to push them. And you can see mine needs a bit of oil by the sound of it. The bottom part of this has a sort of a domed area, which is where this domed part fits into, and the top part, and it's difficult to see, has a sort of a rubber bung, but when you press it, that center metal post that's in the middle there, you can see it just in the middle, comes down and it squashes this sharp point to seal those two pieces together. So I'm going to show you how they work. Now, you'll excuse me if the camera wobbles. It's because I've literally set the camera up right in front of me. So I'm actually trying to work around the camera, hence the hands are huge. So I've got myself two pieces of faux leather, which I'm just going to fold in half. And then I use an awl. Now, often these come with an awl, but if they don't come with an awl, just use one that you've got in your room. You don't need to use the leather cutting type things, so you don't need to use something like that because it just makes too big a hole. You only need a very small hole. So I'm going to take one of my sort of drawing pin pieces, and I'm just going to poke it through that hole that I've just made, and I'm just going through two layers of faux leather, and you can see the little post is exposed. And I'm going to take one of the pieces, and I'm using the female part, and I'm popping it over so that the little bowl is facing upwards. If you try and do it, whoopsie daisy, that way, it will not work. So you need the bowl facing upwards, and you can see there that the little spike is sticking out of the middle. I'm going to take my pliers. You do kind of need an extra pair of hands almost here, and I'm going to pop my pliers in so that the little bowl is sitting over that rounded dome part, and then you can see there that the top is sitting directly over the top of the female part, and then all I'm going to do is apply some pressure with the pliers, and you can see there that that little spike gets flattened down, and that is all there is to it. So I'm going to take the other half, and again, I'm just going to make a hole with my awl. And the reason we don't use the leather cutters is it just makes too big a hole. It doesn't need a massive hole for this. I'm going to stick the other half through. So that little drawing pin again is through, and you can see that's sticking out by, it's a bit more than 1/8 of an inch, I'd say. Probably maybe 3 millimeters. So they can go through quite a lot of thickness. You can buy them with a longer stem. They're not easy to find if you're going through lots and lots of layers. Now, the applications for these are multiple. There again, I've now put my male part on, and you can see that that little spike is just, get my fingers out of the way, that little spike is just showing in the middle there. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with my pliers. I'm going to put my bowl part into that bottom bit, and I'm just going to gently, just so that it's holding it, and I'm not squeezing, I'm not putting any pressure, it's just holding the two pieces in place. So the bowl is sitting over that domed end, and the rubber bung bit is sitting, oh, I've gone out of focus, let's just, that's better, is sitting on the top of that second part, the male part. And again, I'm just going to apply some pressure to the pliers, and you can see that that little spike in the middle is now flat. Now, if you don't, I always stop and I just kind of hold it and make sure that everything is lined up. If you don't, what will happen when you squash is that you'll squash part of this part down. So this sort of outside circle gets kind of squished out of shape if you haven't got it right properly at 90 degrees. And if you do that, you will never be able to close your snap. So there's the male part and there's the female part, and there they go together. Now, the applications for these are multiple. I often have to replace the snaps on the bottom of duvet covers, and I use cam snaps to do that. I've used them on to fasten dribble bibs and bandana bibs and things like that for babies. Often used in baby clothes and stuff like that, on the shoulder of rompers and stuff like that. But they are very, very easy to fit. You just need the pliers. Now, the trouble with pliers is it does mean that you have to use your hands to compress. And when I do it without the cam snap in, it's really easy. But when the cam snap's in there, it does take a reasonable amount of force. And that, for some people, if you've got arthritic hands, can be a challenge. What I like to do if I'm finding it tough, and some days I do find it tough, is let's pop that on there just so I can show you, is put it on the table and then put pressure on like that. So it's actually going, I'm pushing down onto the table, and I find that's easier if my hands are sore. I get arthritic thumbs sometimes, and it does make it difficult to do. You can also, I've seen before, sort of a holder, so it looks a little bit more like a tabletop press, and you pop your cam snap pliers into the holder, and again you then just push down on the top as opposed to squeezing the two parts together. Now, you can buy dies for the big green press and the blue press to use to fit cam snaps. I do have them. I never ever use them because you have to, the bottom bit stays the same. So the bottom bit is very similar to this. It's a dish, a bowl, and the top bit changes for the two different parts. So it's just a long-winded thing because you have to take the top part out of your green press and change it to the other one, and remembering which one fits which one fits the male and which one fits the female is always a challenge for me. So I find it's a lot easier to use this because it's one tool for both sides. So there you go, that's a cam snap press fitting T5 cam snaps. These are a T5, and all you get is a nice round top. Now, some of them have, I've got some that have got heart-shaped tops, I've got some that are star-shaped. You can even buy metal ones, but you can only buy metal ones from cam, from the original cam snaps. But these are to a penny. You can buy these very, very cheaply from, say, eBay, Amazon. Often your local DIY, local craft store or sewing shop will have them, and they tend to come in a box with perhaps 10 sets of each colour, and they come in every colour you can imagine, including some of them are matte. These are shiny. I think you can see they've got a gloss shine to them. They come in a matte finish sometimes. I've seen them glittery. You can also buy clear ones which don't actually show when you've got them on, in every colour you can imagine. So that's cam snaps. There we go, very easy. Try having a practice on something first before you actually try and fit one.